Good morning, everyone. The U.S. men's national team October roster is out. And this is what I have to say. I'm going to say right away. One, this is actually a good roster. It's not perfect, but it is a good roster. We're going to go name by name. I'm going to talk about who's missing. And you might be saying, no, it's not a good roster. We're missing a lot of good players. We're missing Ricardo Pepi. We're missing Serginho Dest. We're missing Tyler Adams and a few others. But you got to take into consideration the injuries, right? Because Pepe, Dest, and Cardoso, Reyna also, they're all injured or coming back from injury. And then Tyler Adams, Pochettino's going to have a press conference later today at 11 a.m., so 30 minutes from now, where he will talk about why Tyler's not there. So if you want information on that, follow us on X and Instagram. Everything is in the description right now. So you can just, not description, like right below me, just follow us there because that's where we can update you on like minor details. Now, we have a lot to talk about in this stream along with the roster. I think I've been a victim of a hate crime. And we're gonna go through that. It was a big one. I also want to talk about the World Cup ticket prices for the United States games, Mexico, knockout rounds. I want to go through that because it's actually quite remarkable. So before we do any of that, let me just quickly go through not the roster, but just what's going on this camp. The United States will play Ecuador October 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that will be Central time, so 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that'll be in Austin, Texas. And then the second game will be against Australia. That'll be October 14th at 8 p.m. Well, actually, that is 7 p.m. Mountain Time. 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Why are they putting it in freaking different time zones? I understand the locations are different, but you stupid, idiotic thing. Why wouldn't you just put it all in the same time zone so we can all understand? One, they put it on Central Time, the other one Mountain Time. What if I don't know what time it is on each one? Regardless, it's not Pacific time. That one, I know it's 3 hours. I know Central time is 1 hour. So I'm assuming Mountain time is 2 hours difference from Eastern time. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we play Ecuador October 10th. And 9 p.m. Eastern time, we play Australia. These are two good opponents. We're going to do match previews. At least for the Ecuador game, we'll do a match preview. So I'll talk about them more during those videos. Today, I want to talk about the roster. So goalkeepers, he decided to bring 4 goalkeepers into camp. Chris Brady from the Chicago Fire, which, again, when I mentioned hate crime, we're going to talk about the Chicago Fire. Matt Freese, Patrick Schulte, Matt Freese from New York City FC, Patrick Schulte from the Columbus Crew, and then Matt Turner from New England Revolution. You may be saying 4 MLS goalkeepers, but honestly, our best goalkeepers are in Major League Soccer. Like it or not, it is what it is. Matt Freese is still probably the clear starter. He had like a minor head injury this weekend, but it looks like he's probably okay, or maybe he's not. That's why we have 4 goalkeepers, because I don't know why you would bring 4 goalkeepers for a camp with 2 games, 2 friendlies. So Matt Turner's back. Matt Freese is there. Chris Brady from the Chicago Fire and Patrick Schulte. Patrick Schulte is a weird inclusion. He hasn't been playing well. He really hasn't. I think he even got benched this weekend. So Patrick Schulte is a weird one, but he made it. Now, defenders, and when we talk about defenders, we have the fullbacks and we have the center backs as well. So Max Arfston is back. He's allegedly a left back. Some call him a wing back. Some call him a winger. Some call him poop. But he's a left back for the United States for the most part. Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's back with the national team, a player that did work with Pochettino in the past when he was with Tottenham. So Carter-Vickers gets an opportunity. He plays in Scotland for Celtic, a league that's not very good, not a very good league, right? When we talk about the Scottish League, I'm going to be honest. I think it's a league that's worse than Major League Soccer. Obviously, Celtic would be the best team in MLS, in my opinion. But outside of that, it's a very, very tough, very, very crap league these days. Rangers is okay. Alex Freeman is back. He's the right back from Orlando City. Mark McKenzie, the center back from Toulouse, is also back. He wasn't in the September roster. Tim Ream from Charlotte is here. Chris Richards, our best center back that plays for Crystal Palace, he's here. Anthony Robinson is back. The best left back we got. He's back with the national team, so hopefully that means Arfston doesn't get many minutes. And then Miles Robinson has been included for some reason. This is what's interesting. Count here with me. How many center backs we have? Miles, Richards, Ream, McKenzie, Carter Vickers. We have five center backs. And we have three fullbacks. And out of these three fullbacks, only one is a right back. Two of them are left backs. I could see Pochettino maybe putting Miles Robinson as a right back when we go more or less like a back three in possession. I could see him doing that. But you know what's wild to me? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Scally is done with the Pochettino era. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, right? There were those rumors that he was doing like donuts with the golf carts, and that maybe Pochettino didn't like his attitude. But Scally is done, man, because he was called into that March camp. Then he wasn't brought into the Gold Cup, and it looked like he wanted to go. He was not brought in the September camp. And then now in this camp, with Serginho Dest out, you would think that Joe Scally would be there fighting for a spot with Alex Freeman. But Pochettino dislikes Scally so much that he'd rather have one right back in the roster, one actual right back. I don't know if he's going to play Miles as a right back. He'd rather have one right back in the roster and not have Scally, which is odd to me. I really want to know what actually happened in that March camp. Maybe Joe Scally mooned Pochettino. I mean, the dude mooned me. I probably wouldn't call him up as well. I don't know what Scally did, but whatever this dude did, because it can't really be an actual soccer decision. Because we've been seeing, I know Gladbach has been complete crap, but Scally's not the issue there. He's been fine. He's been fine. He's been fine in the Bundesliga for quite some time. Now, sure, Pochettino wants to go Dest and Alex Freeman, so be it. My only question is, why not even give Scally another shot? Probably did something very nasty in March, something terrible. That's the only explanation that I can see. Now, someone's asking about Serginho Dest. Serginho Dest is injured. Okay, Dest had I think it's a minor overload muscle injury, so he is injured. Pepe's injured. Johnny Cardoso's injured. Who else is injured? I think Reina is also injured. I don't know if Reina would have made the roster anyway, but Reina's injured. I don't know about Tyler Adams. I don't have the news on Tyler, but it's rumored that Pochettino will address Tyler Adams in about 17 minutes in the press conference. Okay, so again, follow us on X. Everything's down below right here, and Instagram, because we will post there. We'll post there whatever happened to Tyler Adams. Midfielders. Okay, let's talk about the midfielders. Brendan Aronson from Leeds is back. Diego Luna from RSL. He's there. That's actually a surprise. Because sorry, still waking up, guys. I don't wake up early usually. Diego Luna from RSL, he's here. I thought he wasn't going to make the roster because RSL actually plays games during camp, but he's there. They actually play against the Seattle Sounders. Diego Luna's there. Weston McKennie's back. Aiden Morris, rightfully so, makes the roster. He's been really good for Middlesbrough, and they lead the EFL Championship. Christian Roldan from the Seattle Sounders. We'll talk about that in a second. James Sands from St. Pauli gets a well-deserved opportunity. Like I said, I say this every week in the USMNT Abroad series. People keep telling me that Sands is doing well in the Bundesliga. The one game I watched, he didn't play well, but I'm taking everyone's word for it, and Pochettino brought him in, so I'm assuming James Sands is doing well. Tenor Testament, that one I've watched many games, and Tenor has actually been quite good for Lyon. And Malik Tillman, that's having a little bit of a rough start with Bayer Leverkusen. Not super rough, but let's just say not the best of starts. Everyone, if you just tuned in, make sure to drop a like in this video. If you haven't dropped a like, do it right now. It's free, and it's a great way to help the channel. It helps people find our stream. And we are also now Umbro ambassadors. So if you want to get 20% off any Umbro product, the link and promo code are in the description of this video. You got to use the link, and you got to use the promo code, and you get 20% off everything you get. Like everything. They have some beautiful jerseys, great merch. You get some very cheap stuff, but high quality. Cheap in price, but good quality. Okay. Christian Roldan. This is an interesting one that he was included because this October roster tells us a lot about who Pochettino actually wants. Because here's the thing. He pretty much called up everyone. It's an international window. He called up the MLS players he wanted. He called the international players that play in Europe that he wanted. So if Roldan is here, I'm not saying Roldan is a lock. I would say that Arfston and Alex Freeman, they're locks at this point with Pochettino. He's been calling them up every time. He seems to really like them. But Roldan, on the other hand, is still a question mark, but I think he might be a roster lock. The reason I'm not affirming it is because we are missing players like Johnny, Tyler, that you would think they should be in the roster, but Tyler might be dealing with something, and Johnny is injured. Um, but I think Roldan, I think he really liked Roldan. And honestly, in the World Cup, it's going to be a 26-man roster. I don't know how many they bring here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. He brought 26, but he brought 4 goalkeepers. In the World Cup, he'll bring 3 goalkeepers, so you'll have an extra World Cup spot, right, for a field player. If Roldan is player 26, I know he'll be useless on the field, but I actually wouldn't start complaining about that because you just won't play. The problem is, in the past, we've seen Berhalter make some bizarre call-ups and play the players like Shaquille Moore, like Jordan Morris in the World Cup. But let's talk about the forwards now. The forwards. Patrick Agyemang, he's back. He's back with the national team. The other day, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a Derby County fan complaining about Agyemang being on the floor the entire time. And I saw comments saying he should change his boots. Yeah, they call it boots in England. They call it boots. They don't call it cleats. Um, and I just asked him, it's like, did you not watch the Gold Cup? Because we were telling you guys about this. Agyemang is just Agyemang. He'll be on the floor. He's going to slip all over the place. And he's back in the roster. Now, mind you, Ricardo Pepi's injured. So I'm assuming it would have been Balogun, Pepe, and Haji, because Haji's been playing as a center forward for Coventry. He can also play as a winger. But Pepe's injured, so Agyemang is back with the national team. Will he play this camp? Hopefully not, but Agyemang's back. Balogun from Monaco's here. Christian Pulisic from Milan in his best form ever. This is right now we're seeing prime Pulisic. Hopefully we see that with the national team as well. At least for Milan, he's been nothing short of incredible. Tim Weah from Olympique Marseille, Haji Wright from Coventry, and then you have Alejandro Zendejas from Club America. Alejandro Zendejas, that's been quite good for Club America. Now Anthony's saying Tech rates Agyemang over Jesus Ferreira. By the way, I don't know about that. I think actually Jesus might be a better player. I think it's just that Jesus is not really a center forward, right? We talked about this before. He has to play as a second striker, maybe a 10. He's not really your center forward. Agyemang is, I guess, a center forward, sort of. That's the main thing. But everyone, I just went through the entire roster. Let's do this in the chat right now, and you guys can do it in the comment section if you're rewatching this. Rate this roster from 1 to 10. I give this roster a 7.5. Considering the injuries, I think it's a good roster. Obviously, players I'd like to see there, Tyler Adams, but there's got to be something with Tyler. He was not left out of the roster for a random reason. Tyler Adams, Johnny should be there. He's injured. Pepe should be there. He's injured. Gio Reyna, hopefully. Dest, but he's also injured. And then, I mean, I guess Scally. So people are giving it a 7, a 6, a 7. Yeah, most people, I would say from what we've seen in the previous roster, because September was a shit roster. Let's be real. That roster was a monstrosity. There was even like, I don't know, man. I'm just putting this rumor out there. I heard people wanted to take away Pochettino's green card after they saw that roster. That's like legitimate news in the U.S. government. That's what I heard. Okay, but this roster right here is much better. Now, as I said before, I think I was a victim of a hate crime because the person that came after me or the entity definitely hates me. And here it is. Here it is. The Chicago Fire official account came after me. All I did was I post Greg Berhalter starts his MLS with a big fat 4-2 loss in charge of Chicago Fire. The first hate watch was a success. That was February 22nd. The Chicago Fire X account, they probably bookmarked my tweet from February 22nd. We're hitting October. February's month 2. October's month 10. It's been 7 to 8 months. They bookmarked a 7-month-old tweet to come after me. Look, some people might say it's a hate crime. Some people might say it's not. It could be because I think they hate me. So And as far as I know, that qualifies as a hate crime if you hate someone. So Chicago Fire, fair play, fair play. But this is what I have to say. This is what's ridiculous about the Chicago Fire. When you look at this tweet, how did that hate watch go? You would probably think they won MLS. You're like, oh, Chicago Fire just won Major League Soccer. They won Major League Soccer, right? This tweet is after these mother lickers finished in, well, they didn't finish. It's not over the season, but they're in 8th place in the Eastern Conference. This is a team that's sitting in 8th place in the Eastern Conference. Like, what are you bragging about? Oh, in the last few seasons, we were shit. We couldn't even make the playoffs. So what? You can't set the bar that low. And then when you do like a mediocre job, you're like, hey, look how good we are. We finished 8th place. We made the playoffs because like over half the league makes the playoffs. So we made it. So now we're going to start bragging about it because we finished 8th place. Because the last year we were the worst team in the league. Now we're like bad. But last year we were like very bad. So we went from very bad to just bad. Don't worry. Once the Chicago Fire lose in the playoffs very early, which they probably would, I will be there. Okay. I will be there. Now, BJ Callahan, on the other hand, with Nashville, he won the US Open Cup. So while the Chicago Fire franchise comes after me and the Chicago Fire fans come after me, I am joining the Nashville fan base and celebrating BJ Callahan's US Open Cup trophy. The Nashville just won the US Open Cup yesterday, the oldest and greatest soccer tournament in the United States. The oldest and greatest. So that was why I think I was victim of a hate crime right there. But let's talk about the World Cup ticket prices, shall we? Before I close the roster stream, I want to talk about this real quick. But Jaron is saying, does your style preferences guide your what? Like my call-ups for the national team? Hold on. I'll come in Spicy Jeff. I can't really put when you say you're saying does your style preferences guide your evaluations? Of course it does, right? When you're evaluating a roster or a starting 11, regardless of what you are, if you're a fan, if you're a pundit, if you're a coach, if you're a professional coach, if you're a player, your style preferences of how you want this team to play will most likely determine the players that you want to make the roster. For anyone wondering, for example, did everyone here in the chat watch the video? If you guys go back to the channel and you go 2 to 3 videos ago, where was it? No, this one right here. I'll put it here. Let me put it on screen. If you go to this video here specifically, you will see, let me zoom in, this video right here. How Pochettino should set up the U.S. men's national team. If you go to this video, you will understand a bit more of how I see the U.S. national team and how I think we should play. So when I'm evaluating who I think should be there, it's mainly based on that video. It was 2 weeks ago, so it's not very old. It's how I think should be the tactical approach, phases of play, player selection. That was probably the most in-depth video I ever made in terms of tactics of the U.S. men's national team. So you can go check that one out. And you will understand a little bit more of my player evaluation. Now, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, that's something that's debatable. And I talk about that in the video because building the best roster and building the best team, it's not really just picking the best players possible, right? There are elements to it that if you're not there, you don't see it. Player personality. Because, for example, if a player is an asshole, for you to tolerate an asshole, he needs to really win you games. Because if you're an average player and you're an asshole, why bring that guy up, right? So just check that video, how Pochettino should set up the U.S. men's national team. Anyone here, because that video, you'll get a better feel for how I think this team should play. And I dive into tactics, phase of play, player selections, etc. But back to the ticket prices before I finalize this roster stream. The Athletic just posted this that I saw. Let me zoom in so y'all can see. 2026 World Cup ticket prices. And Jeff Carey, thank you for the super chat. But no, Tyler's not transitioning. Okay. Let's go this here. And Dinger, I'll read your super chat in a second. Let me just go through the ticket prices. So the Athletic posted this, and 2026 World Cup ticket prices, Mexico's opener, which would be in the Azteca, I believe, in Mexico City. Category one, $1,800, so 1,825 actually. Category two, 1,290. Category three, 745. Category four, 370. That is pretty expensive because category four, let me tell you, these categories, they're not like hurricanes where the higher the category, the stronger the hurricane, right? Even though technically you want a hurricane to be category one or not even to exist, actually. Hurricanes suck ass. They're terrible. I live in Florida. I will know. But category four being $370, it's freaking expensive. And especially when you take into consideration with Mexico, that is very expensive. It's unfortunate because those are shit seats, category four. So the people will have to watch um, most of the games on TV. And then, the ones with the small minority that has a lot of money, they'll go to watch it in the stadium. Now, Canada's opener will be $1,745, category one, 1,240, category two, 715, category three, and 355, category four. And mind you, these are in USD, US dollars. So the Canadian tickets are also very expensive, and they're roughly the same price as Mexico. But if I'm not mistaken, Canada's GDP per capita is $54,000. Mexico's GDP per capita is $14,000. Okay. What do I mean by that? I mean that based on the local economy, the Mexico tickets are much more expensive for locals, right? Because like when you put it into consideration, like the World Cup in Mexico, I would hope Mexicans, locals can enjoy it and actually experience it, go to the stadium. But these ticket prices are going to price a lot of people out. I just told you, the Canada tickets are already very expensive, but Canada's GDP per capita is $54,000, while Mexico's GDP per capita is 14,000. You're pricing out a lot of Mexicans. It sucks. There's really nothing I can do about it. But it is freaking insane. Now, United States of America and the USMNT opener. Okay, look at these prices. 2,735 for category one, 1,940 for category two, 1,120 for category three, $560 for category four. And if the Athletic is reporting this, I'm assuming these are FIFA prices. That is FIFA prices. If it was the resale market, it would be way worse. So very pricey opener for the United States. And mind you, the $560 category four, those are shit seats. Like if you're gonna buy category four, you might as well watch it at home, right? Where you can take a shit in the middle of the game because you have your nice toilet very nearby. You can sit on your very nice couch. You can eat whatever you want. Imagine the food prices of this event. You want to get a beer? Hey, sir, that'll be $30. You want like a tiny little shit pizza worse than the Domino's one? That'll be $45 plus tax. Oh, don't forget to tip because we can't really pay the employees here very well. So you got to tip like 20, 30% of that overpriced pizza that you're buying and that overpriced beer. So it's going to be very expensive. It's going to sell out. It's going to sell out. There's a lot of people with a lot of money, and it's going to sell out. But these prices are insane. Like, think about it. Category four, which is a terrible seat, right? Terrible seat for the United States opener. If you're a family of four, you're going to spend a minimum of $2,000 to go to this game. Minimum. Then you got parking. That's probably going to be 50. Well, it's in LA, so it's probably going to be like $100 parking. And then you're going to have to buy food. It's going to be like a minimum of like $2,400. $2,400 minimum. And that's for the shit seats. When we're talking about the good seats, you might be spending close to 10 grand for the good seats if you're a family. So, all right. Good luck to everyone that wants to go. I'm not going for many reasons. One, I have to cover it. But even if I didn't cover the U.S. national team, I love this team and I would love to experience the World Cup here with the team, but I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. I'm sorry. It's insane. I'm going to watch it on TV, stay on my couch, make some wings. I think I'm going to go Super Bowl style with this pizza and wings. Make pizza and wings. No celery. I'm not on a diet, so I'm not getting celery. But then the group stage tickets, they will vary between $345 to $805 for category one. That's more affordable, especially category one, right? $300, $345 for category one, more affordable. Category two, 260 to 600. Category three, 120 to 280. Now we're starting to talk about affordable games. But keep in mind, that might be the ticket prices for like New Zealand versus Angola that no one wants to go. Who's like $120 for New Zealand versus Angola, even though Angola won't be in the World Cup. Or let's say New Zealand versus Uzbekistan. Who's paying $120 to watch that? Category four, $60 to $140. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to call out one thing. There will be games in this World Cup that will not sell out. There will be games because there will be some garbage games. And it's an expanded World Cup too, 48 teams. And the ticket price is sure, $60 is actually not that bad, $60 for a ticket. But Uzbekistan versus like New Zealand, like garbage games. Sorry about these national teams. Just like there's not really much interest for them. I'm not calling the country garbage. I'm not calling the national team garbage. I'm saying the games are not very interesting. People are not going to go unless maybe tickets are like $10, but that's not going to happen. Third place game, category one, $1,000. Category two, 715. Category three, 360. Category four, 165. It really depends on who plays because third place games are usually known as glorified friendlies unless you have an underdog there. If it's like Brazil there, Argentina, France, I don't know if people will go because it's just a glorified friendly. It's just a glorified friendly. That's pretty expensive. Now, the final, they literally priced everyone out. They're trying to make it essentially a Super Bowl, even though Super Bowl tickets are more expensive than this. But category one, 6,300. Category two, 4,210. Category three, 2,790. And the cheapest possible tickets in the World Cup final will be $2,000. The cheapest. Category four. This is insane. This is insane. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, let me just go back and put the roster once again before we close this stream. I believe Pochettino's press conference is going on, and I'll update you guys on X. So make sure to follow us on X and follow us on also, what's the name? Follow us also on Instagram. Everything's down below. We're trying to hit 15,000 also followers on Instagram, so help us with that because I'll update you guys on Tyler Adams there. Dinger saying, would you say this is accurate? Adams, Scally, and Sargent were snubbed. Then Des, Reyna, Pepe, and Cardoso are injured. I don't know about Tyler Adams. There might be something there. I was told that Pochettino's going to explain why Tyler wasn't there. It could be that Tyler has a minor injury, overload, something. So he's just keeping him out. Scally was snubbed. Scally was definitely snubbed. Sargent was also. I think Sargent is a tricky one. I think Sargent is a better player than Agyemang, but it's hard to say Sargent is a snub when he can't score for the national team in forever. Scally to me is a snub because if you're gonna bring one right back and you're gonna bring five center backs, for example, you don't need Miles Robinson. You bring in Joe Scally to test him out. But something happened. Something happened in that U.S. men's national team March camp that Pochettino doesn't want to call in Scally. I'm telling you, maybe this dude mooned Pochettino. Pochettino looked back and then Scally just put his pants down and showed him his ass. That's the only explanation. Jeff Carey saying, I think you and Pete should do a show with body paint clothing. No. I'm going to keep my clothes on. Everyone that just tuned in, make sure to drop a like if you haven't already. We talked about the alleged hate crime that I was a victim of. We talked about the roster. We talked about World Cup ticket prices, official ones that came out from The Athletic. Now I'm going to quickly skim through the roster once again and the stream. Don't forget to drop a like already. And don't forget to use the Umbro code, promo code, and link in the description if you want to get 20% off any and every Umbro product. You can use it multiple times. You can even maybe buy it and give it as a gift. Christmas is coming up, right? Actually, first we have Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then we got Christmas later on. So goalkeepers: Chris Brady from the Chicago Fire, Matt Freese from New York City FC, Patrick Schulte from the Columbus Crew, and Matt Turner from New England. Defenders: Max Arfston from Columbus Crew. You got Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic, Alex Freeman from Orlando City, Mark McKenzie from Toulouse, Tim Ream from Charlotte, Chris Richards from Crystal Palace, Anthony Robinson from Fulham. He's back, A-Rob. And then Miles Robinson is there for some reason from Cincinnati. Center back, but Miles might be a right back. Who knows? This camp might be a right back. Midfielders: Brendan Aronson from Leeds, Diego Luna from RSL, Weston McKennie from Juventus, Aiden Morris from Middlesbrough. Great season from Aiden in the FL Championship. Christian Roldan is there once again for some reason from the Seattle Sounders. James Sand from St. Pauli. Tanner Testament from Lyon. Malik Tillman from Leverkusen. Patrick Agyemang, a forward from Derby County. Balogun from Monaco. Pulisic from Milan. Tim Weah from Marseille. Haji Wright from Coventry. And Alejandro Zendejas from Club America. Once again, Pepe, Dest, and Johnny, they're all injured. Gio Reyna, injured, okay, before anyone calls that out. Now, in terms of, what's his name, Tyler Adams, Pochettino's probably talking about that right now, and I'll update you guys on X or Instagram what's going on with Tyler Adams. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you're rewatching this, drop a comment. And after I close the stream, also make sure to drop a comment down below as well and a like in this video. Now, Yunus Musa, he was just kept out. I don't really think it's a snub. Musa is better than Roldan, for example, but Musa hasn't really shown any progress over the past like 2 to 3 years. So I don't mind Musa being left out, in my opinion. I don't mind Musa being left out. The problem is who he's left out for. If it's Roldan, then yeah, that's probably not a good choice. Tyler Adams, I'll update you guys on X and Instagram, so follow us there. Pochettino's probably talking about that right now. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure to drop a comment in the stream once I close it, letting us know about the ticket prices, the roster, and much more. And obviously, drop a like right now. And thank you also, Umbro, for having us as Umbro ambassadors. Link and promo code are in the description if you want to use it. Okay. All right. Ciao.